On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Anton,
what your rate is. Hold on, wait.
That comparison is not
You
good.
don't get to determine. It's the same thing with athletes, because you know why?
No.
They don't also take in any of the losses that go along with it. When the pandemic hit, their salaries are still guaranteed, right? They don't have the same risk that comes along with what it takes to be an owner. And this is the problem with people that think like
Can you explain your pencil factory analogy?
It's because you don't get to determine the rate. The owner did, because they're the ones that invested in the equipment.
That.
They paid the rent. They did all of the building.
I understand
they
that.
the permits. They take the risk of whether or not those pencils are going to sell or not.
That's the reality. I get it.
But my point is that if you are not a business owner, you should not be able to say I should make more money, because he makes just as much also. And he's the person that's taken all of the risk, made all of the investment in the company. They didn't take out their money and buy $1 billion franchise. They didn't invest in that.
Q. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, if Q can go and then.
No, go ahead. Because if you want to respond to something he said, then
yeah. So, Anton, you brought up an interesting point. I know that there's, there are studies about people who, like, let's say you ask somebody, what was your GPA in high school or in undergrad? People generally say something higher than what it was, right? That's a thing. And when you said what you were saying, it reminded me of that. I think that it's very common for a lot of people to overshoot whatever the thing is, whether it be like, what was your GPA in high school, or how much do you think you're worth per hour to do this job, or whatever. So that's fine, because that's what people do. But the thing that comes in, like I said earlier, the negotiation, now it becomes between you and me, or you and your employee, or whoever. And I don't think it's anything wrong with someone overvaluing.
How is it nothing wrong with somebody overvaluing themselves?
Because that's where negotiation comes in.
What about the actual product?
If you think someone's valuable, let's say I'm gonna use me and you. Let's say me and you are about to go into business together, whatever. And I'm like, this product, like that I want you to sell, whatever, costs $40. And I'm just like, well, I made it. It's $40 per item, whatever. And you're just like, no, it should be 20 or whatever. I'm like, no, but I put so much time into it. That's not inherently wrong for me to think that way.
Yes,
the thing is, no, it's not. The thing that would be wrong, in my opinion, is for me to not listen to what you're saying, because I completely agree with you that market determines value. Some people are like, well, y'all never question.
So if market determines value, why would you care? Why would I care about how you feel? Like
no,
how you feel about yourself is what I'm saying. I'll give you an example. Well, I want to get Q, but I'll give you an example real quick. I'm gonna give you something to ponder.
Yeah. Because I think we might.
Do you think WNBA players should make more money?
Make more money than they make now? Yeah. But why? Do I think they should make the same amount as NBA?
Why?
Absolutely not.
That's not what I asked you. I said, do you think WNBA players should make more money?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm sure that they generate revenue, and I'm not saying it's comparable to the NBA. I'm not saying that. I'm not. I don't think it is. I don't think that the best WNBA player should make anywhere near the best NBA player, because people don't watch the WNBA with the frequency that they watch the NBA. But then that goes back to the whole thing of what's the marketing, what's going on.
No, it got something to do with the fact that they're trash players. You'll get more people at a college game than a WNBA player. Than a WNBA game. They're very boring to watch. It's hard to stomach. They can't even make a layup
college players,
like a bag of bricks.
Players don't get paid.
And the NBA has to subsidize their salaries because they're actually losing money.
Yes.
But we put them on TV just to make you guys feel good. And I bet you $1,000 a piece that neither one of you, not one of y'all three, actually watch WNBA games.
No,
on a
I don't
regular basis.
watch. I don't watch at all. Look at me.
But my point though,
Anton,
Kay,
I'm not arguing this down.
Wait, Kay. My point is that your answer and that they should make more money was based off of how you feel versus what the market dictates. I would say
no.
Based
You're
off
wrong.
of the market.
You're wrong.
Stop, Kay.
One at a time.
You gotta let me finish.
Family, one at a time.
Based off
You're
the
wrong,
market,
Anton.
based off the market, they should be making less.
Okay, listen, Anton, I get what you're saying, and I'm rocking with you on that. The reason I said they should make more, I also think NBA players should make more. I'm thinking about listen, hear me out.
I think they make enough money.
No, hear me out.
Do you know how much they make?
Hear me out.
Listen, if the women in the WNBA want to make more money, then we need to put them on some skimpy shorts. We need to remove the jerseys and make them a little bit more skimpy.
Hear me out.
We need to lower the rims so they can actually make a
we ain't
layup.
watching that either. We
need to lower the rims so they can make a layup.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Go ahead, Kay.
I do not think that athletes are compensated fairly if you look at the entirety of what's going on.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. If you're LeBron James, okay, fine. But LeBron James is not Mark Cuban. Like, my thing is, and I'm not saying, I know he has other businesses, blah, blah, blah. I know. But I'm just saying that I think that in the grand scheme of things, athletes aren't getting paid as much as they're worth in general. And that even goes for the athletes that make a lot of money.
I want to get Q so I can go ahead and cook Kay up and down this whole panel tonight.
Please bring out your cast iron skillet because I'm ready. Because you know what?
What?
I don't. This is not.
Ahead,
I mean, this is a valid argument. I'm just saying.
Okay. Q,
Sorry,
business,
do you know how? Wait, hold on 1 second. Do you know how much athletes make?
Yes, but I also know how much the
endorsements?
commissioners and the people over them make, and it's way more. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God!
It's way more.
But it's not
And they're the
according
ones
to
out
you
there
because
doing
listen,
the
here's
work
but here
every
no.
day.
Listen, if I'm out here and I got a pencil factory and you are the person that's putting the pencil in the machine and you are the worker, you don't get to determine what your rate is. Hold on, wait.
That comparison is not.
You don't get to determine. It's the same thing with athletes because you know why?
No.
They don't also take in any of the losses that go along with it. When the pandemic hit, their salaries are still guaranteed, right? They don't have the same risk that comes along with what it takes to be an owner. And this is the problem with people that think like
a your pencil factory analogy.
It's because you don't get to determine the rate. The owner did because they're the ones that invested in the equipment.
That.
They paid the rent. They did all of the building.
I understand
they
that.
the permits. They take the risk of whether or not those pencils are going to sell or not.
That's the reality. I get it.
But my point is that if you are not a business owner, you should not be able to say I should make more money because he makes just as much also. And he's the person that's taken all of the risk, made all of the investment in the company. They didn't take out their money and buy $1 billion franchise. They didn't invest in that.